try to make this. Alrighty. Haven't been here for a minute. Let's start off with alright guys. So here we're gonna start off with the S&P 500, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, and hopefully a little bit of gold, a little bit of Palantir, a little bit of Google, but I believe that's gonna be too much. Um, so, anyways, let's start off with S&P 500, time and date, Arizona time. So let's go with weekly so far. Actually, let's go down to the days. So here we are in the daily candle, and we can see how here S&P was having trouble creating a new time high since Monday 6 onto the tariff day. Once this tariff happened, I knew that when you saw it, think about it, it happened on a Friday, and the way it normally works, they scare you on a Friday, and then on a Sunday, they normally tweet or says, "Hey, I talked to my buddy, and everything's okay. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, trip." Then the market recovered based on the tweet that he said on Sunday. And then throughout the week, he was tweeting all kinds of things about China, this and that, and then the data was coming good or bad and whatnot. Finally, Thursday was again another pullback, and it brought a lot of stocks and crypto down. But just like that, again, Friday, we're hitting with the good news. Why? Because Thursday, the S&P was at a crucial price right here. You can see it. There was a strong support right here. So the fact that the S&P was coming down to that area and it closed in that area throughout the nighttime, you can see how it was falling and having a hard time. But again, here came Trump tweeting about something again, and plus data, and then the market recovered. Now, this last week, we were also struggling we were having good good earnings, and on top of that, we were having just bad data, or we were missing data. So all this was kind of bad. Finally, Friday was gonna be your big data because CPI was coming up. So the fact that if you see how it played out, let's go to the forward candle. So here we have Wednesday at 6 in the morning. I forgot what it was. I think what was it? Either missing data, or we had some sort of bad. Oh, Tesla. Tesla. Tesla came out. Well, that's 6 in the morning. But something happened on Wednesday. But besides that, Tesla came out with bad earnings on Wednesday, so that didn't help. And then on Thursday, we ended up receiving, I think we had some data on Thursday, I believe, or we were expecting something on Thursday. And besides that, it wasn't not just that. It was that Friday was the CPI data. So that also driving the market up was the anticipation of, hey, we most likely know what CPI data is going to come out. It's going to be bad, and bad is good. So that means interest rate cuts are going to be definitely next Wednesday. So having that data come out that good, it made Friday fucking blast off because from that data. And you see it with Bitcoin and everything. So based off how we left on good news, then Trump over the weekend was gonna go over there to Asia and do what he does, and then he just so happened to mention about China, like, hey, we've been talking with an agreement. It seems like we're coming up to good terms. So that also, like, once I saw that, I was like, the S&P 500 is gonna fucking open way higher than when it closed. And then even throughout the nighttime, we're either gonna maintain this region right here, or we're gonna come down. But regardless, we're gonna be creating a new, what I call a new island, pretty much, with this from Monday to Wednesday. We're gonna have some little volatility and start creating support and resistance and whatnot. And that's what I like. It's like, for example, in this region here, when the S&P creates a new all-time high, it creates its own little, I call it a floating island. It's just hovering there, and it gives you where the support is at, so you can see where it's about to break if it goes down. So that's what I wanted to do when it's up here. But another thing too is when there's gaps, the market normally tend to close the gaps. So we could have that could happen on Wednesday with all the questions after they announce the decision. They're gonna get questions. So those questions can bring the market down and just to test them out and close it, and then at the end recover. But we could also, with this good news and how the market opened, we could see even the S&P open, or yeah, open even higher. Especially pay attention to 11:45, 11:45, 12:30 Arizona time, and that's also a crucial time because the 12-hour candle for the S&P closes at 2. Is it 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? I mean, 2 a.m. or 2 a.m. or no, I think it's 2 a.m. Yeah, 2 a.m. So it's important for it to actually go the way the route that it needs to go. It goes for the actual move. But then again, it's just structuring because it's in a new price. You don't know where the strong resistance are at. You don't know where the strong supports are at because it's a new land. It's a new territory. So with this interest rate this Wednesday, also it's gonna be the same time Google and what is it? Google and Apple are gonna release their earnings too. Then you have Thursday with more fucking earnings from the big guys. So I believe Amazon and whatnot. So it's gonna be very volatile fucking week. Also Palantir. Palantir just had. Um, Let me go off the. I'm trying to stay with Ethereum and Bitcoin, but just something I want to point out for Palantir has their earnings on, I believe, November 4th, and they just had news about. Let's see right here. Let me go with Tom Nash. Tom Nash. Palantir expands its global defense web. Next stop, Poland. Let me show you something if you guys want to get a good guy to follow on the market and keep you up with shit. It's Tom is a man. Right here, 2 hours ago, Palantir Technology is said to sign a letter of intent with Poland's defense minister on Monday, extending its Euro defense footprint even deeper into NATO's eastern flank. So along with that, along with the S&P 500 blasting off, you should see Palantir opening higher. I would be surprised if it didn't. And then, along with the interest rate cut, if it does happen, along with earnings, we should see Palantir create new all-time highs or whatnot. Let's go back. Another thing with gold. Gold. I'm going all over the fucking place. My bad, you guys, but it's just I gotta point these things out. So the thing with gold is that you had this last Friday completing or try to complete a 3 candle box. You had your first candle give you your support, your second one your resistance. You box it up, and you pay attention to the third one. Since we're in a daily, you pay attention towards the last 4 to 8 hours of that day, especially depending uh, what data is coming out or how did it come out. Actually, the market is open for what 8 6 8 hours. So yeah. So you pay attention to the last. Well, for actually the the first four, your 7:45 to 8:30, and then you pay attention to your 11:45 to 12:30. But regardless, um, I noticed that gold. If you notice gold, it was dropping Thursday night. CPI data came out at 5:30, so as it was dropping down, and I'm gonna mark where the three candle boxes at to make it more easier, so we can see it as I go through the candles to the time frames. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour candle, and you can see right here. So it was completing the third candle. It was dropping, and then once we get to 3 in the morning, and the market's about to open, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, data comes out, CPI data, and then you see gold recover. Instead of completing and having that push on down and whatnot, you're seeing recover. So I was like, all right, if this data made it go up, also because it could weaken the dollar and so on and so on, um, could then interest rate push it on up higher even too? Because the reason why CPI data went up, or the market went up, is because of more confirmation for the Fed to cut interest rate. And if they do that, normally gold tends to go up because they're printing more dollars, which is making the dollar weaker, and tends to push gold higher because it's a safer asset and so on. Even though we had gold drops amid progress on U.S. trade deals, so whatnot. So that's another thing too. Since we're having good news, it's pushing gold down since there's no really tension there between China and them. Especially if Wednesday there's more confirmation and good agreement, or he's gonna bullshit and say that he didn't like the agreement and whatnot. And again, that could push gold up, plus the Fed decision, or just the Fed decision alone will put gold up, but still maintaining at a lower price. Not even that high, just maybe somewhere in the 4,100 or 200 or 4,180, but still having some sort of push on up. But I believe as the market opens, if we keep with where it's at right now, below the box, uh, and see, it's important because we closed the forward candle at 7. So the fact that buyers are pushing it up and not completing it is also keeping me that okay, gold should be sustaining in the region. But then, as the S&P opens, I believe that pressure of the market opening then should push gold down, especially if by 11, when is it the last 4 hour candle that we're gonna be active from 11 to what is it, 11 to 3? No, 11 to what is it? Siete? Yeah, 3. Um, at we want to see where it's at 11, and then from there between 12:45 and 1:30, we want to see where it's at to see where it's gonna really start directing. But I feel like, and also silver. Silver is like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Silver is your Ethereum. So silver will direct you first where it's really going to, and it's reacting the same way. I'll show you how. So here, there's a forward candle. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour candles. This is silver. This was back when, this was back when gold was rallying from right here. So look, this is Monday 20th to Tuesday in the morning. This is gold. Monday the 20th. Monday the 20th at 3 in the morning. Monday at 12. Tuesday, aka midnight. So as gold was rising, Silver was just chilling right here. Let's say this was silver here. So instead of silver following along and pushing it up when gold was rallying, gold was just doing this, just going sideways. It was just chilling. The moment gold starts dropping here, midnight Tuesday, midnight and 20th, look what silver started doing. Tuesday at midnight, it finally loses that support, it breaks it, and it goes down, and so gold follows. So silver is your Ethereum, and Bitcoin is your gold. That's why you want to see. That's why Ethereum gives you the first pushing up high or start rallying up, and Bitcoin will just be right there, and then Ethereum will finally shoot up real sharp, and then Bitcoin will follow, or Bitcoin will go start rallying up, and then all of a sudden Ethereum will follow fucking through. Same with silver and gold. So the fact that silver is still maintaining this is what's giving me that the reason why gold, I believe, is sustaining it for the interest rate cuts. Otherwise, with all this good news about hey, no war or no terrorists and blah blah blah, all this shit, it would have made silver already fall down. So, anyways, let me go back to Ethereum. I mentioned this. Oh, I didn't make videos about this, but this, or maybe I have in the past. Oh yeah, I did, cause I pointed out the 3 monthly candle for Ethereum. You can see right here, and again a three candle box. Your first one gives you your resistance. The second one gives you your support. You box it up and you pay attention to your third one. This was a monthly, so you pay attention to the last 2 weeks, or in those 2 weeks, you pay attention to what data is coming out that's going to affect the S&P 500. You have earnings and you have PAL coming up. So as I was watching this, I was thinking, if we go to the dailies, you can see how Ethereum breaks that box and just sustains below that. But the thing that you can see the last couple of days and weeks right here is you can see how Ethereum was just holding this region here. So my theory was it's gonna do this. And once I saw how these two, what was happening these 2 weeks, I was like, oh, we're having earnings plus data, and then we're having the Fed. So if it plays out the way I think it is, this is what's gonna happen. Where Ethereum, because of the earnings and the Fed decision and whatnot, and tariff relief and all this shit, and the S&P, pretty much the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 does what I think it's doing, which is what it's doing right now, you would then see Ethereum get back inside the box. It's gonna chill here from Monday to Tuesday. It's gonna chill in this region right here, and then as interest rates come and they say, and Powell says what he says, you should see Ethereum rise up either to the top of that monthly three candle box resistance, or you see it close it somewhere here in the week. Then not just that, we're gonna close on what, on Sunday or Monday? Oh, we're gonna close on Friday. Yeah, so that's gonna. So then you have Friday. We do have important data on Thursday and Friday, I believe. So we may get some sort of correction because S&P, it is at a fucking all-time high. So a correction with all these earnings that will push it up even more wouldn't be a surprise if Thursday and Friday we get some sort of pullback, but still closing high with the new all-time high. And then that will make uh, Ethereum close its third month. I mean, it's the third candle closing somewhere here, still active, because as long as the third candle is still inside of the box, it's still active. Even when we close right down below it, you pay attention depending what time frame. So this a month, you would pay attention for the next week or so how the days are acting right below it, especially the last three, or especially Friday through Sunday, because that tells you a lot. So let me show you how also the S&P is crypto connected to the S&P 500. So over the weekend, crypto lets you know how the S&P is doing. Normally, if it we end on a good weekend, you'll see crypto act like this, where Friday will be chilling, getting to Saturday, we'll start having a movement, and then Sunday, as we especially coming into the market opening at 3, you'll see more excitement or whatnot. When we're having bad news over the weekend, you especially on Sunday, we get tweets from the president and whatnot, and then that's when the market starts going down. Saturday night to Sunday morning, you'll start seeing that. And that's how I can tell how the S&P is gonna happen. So once I saw this Ethereum Sunday morning, especially 5 in the morning, start shooting up, I was like, oh, okay, the S&P is fucking gonna close higher. And then once I saw the tweets about what he said about China trade and whatnot, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, the S&P is gonna fucking open high as fuck. And that's what you end up seeing. So now we're inside the box. So my theory was playing out. It's playing out so far like I think it is. And I did bring this up in my past videos. I've been talking about this monthly three candle box. Bitcoin will do the same thing, and Bitcoin's gonna follow right. Yeah, Bitcoin's gonna follow right along. You have your monthly candle, your three candle box. See, your three candle box. You see how it's still active, how it's still inside. And even though Bitcoin had this big fall throughout this month, they're playing out all the same. As Ethereum goes back up to that monthly resistance, you're gonna see Ethereum with the interest rates. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna close the month at a not an all-time high, but the fact that this month is breaking that monthly support resistance that was holding for what 1, 2, 3, pretty much 4 months, and finally breaking that, and Ethereum breaking going back up to that monthly three candle box resistance, all the in the S&P 500 all-time high is screaming to you, hey, get fucking ready, we're about to blast off. That's why I like using the three candle box, because you can catch these trades or these or well, whether it be just buying it or leverage trading, you can go in on these. Let me see for a candle on the sweet spot, especially with my indicator. How it tells you the sweet spot that you're just fucking holding the rest of the fucking ride, especially with the data that's coming out or whatnot. Um, but yeah, here we have S&P 500. I mean XRP still holding, and I think XRP was on the three candle box too, on the monthly one. It is, but it didn't. It's still inside of it. And this one, 4 days left. We're probably gonna close the month either right here at 277, or we're gonna close it somewhere between here, between 286 and 277. And then BMNR, Ethereum blasting up. You're gonna see BNMR open, and it's a thick ass resistance right here. Holy shit. Let me take it off. But yeah, you should see it open somewhere in the. Let me go to forward candle. It's probably gonna open somewhere in the 53s or 54s. I'll be really surprised if it open above that, but it should easily open about 53 and 50, 53 and 54. I mean 55. Palantir, Google's coming out with the earnings. They're already fucking anticipating it, and then with S&P 500 the way it opened, we should see these major stocks opening higher, way higher. We should see Apple, Google, Nvidia, Palantir. That's what I think. Opening way higher. But that's it, you guys. I'm not trying to make this shit too long and too boring. I'll make another video most likely at 11 o'clock to see how everything's at. Um, Bones, what's up, man? Gabriel Gill, what's up? I don't know what that means, but what's up? Nina Joe, what's up? All right, you guys. I'm out. This is Brian Seacrest signing out.